morning, everybody. It's Sam, the Backwoods Mom and Crafter, and today we are finally going to start a project. We are going to start off with a hat that looks like this. See, so pretty. The garter stitch down here, got the E-knit up here, and we close it off up here. The back looks the same as the front. Very pretty. It's nice and warm. I've worn it to see if it fit. That's how I test everything to see if it's long enough. I go, yeah, it fits. Okay, so what we need today. Some of these things you don't need. I just choose to use them to make my looming experience a little easier. Okay, first thing we have is a straw. Which, no, you're not going to be drinking during this. I mean, you can if you want to, but I'm only having coffee this morning. It's still early. Alright, so this, I thread the yarn through so I can loop around better. It helps with my tension and it's not so tight so I can work with my stitches. You don't have to use it, I just choose to. You're gonna need one of these suckers. This is the Loom hook. This is a stitch marker. Again, you don't have to use it, I just use it to keep track of where I start. A darning needle. You don't have to use a darning needle. If you want to, you can crochet your bind off, but I find it easier to use my darning needle. My phone, which has a stitch counter on it. That's the other reason why I have it here. Some yarn. This is probably, I want to say, 3.5 ounces of Red Heart Super Saver. I have no idea what the color is. As you can tell, it's in a cake. I don't know what color it is. It's a form of blue. And last but not least, but also most importantly, your loom. This is out of the Boy Lightweight Loom set. This is the largest. It's also in the directions they call it the adult size hat loom. This is what we'll be using. Okay. First things first. Take your yarn, pull some out. Pull, 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 pull. Put it to the side. Now what I like to do is I twist my end, thread it through my needle, like so, pull through, like that, and then take it and drop it in. A lot of times it doesn't go all the way through, so I will just grab a crochet hook and shove it in, and then just thread it through. See? And then it pops out the bottom. Put the crochet hook back. Don't want to lose those. And there you go. Now you have, don't lose your darning needle, you're going to need it towards the end. Let's bring this down just a little bit high. There. Okay, so now we're going to take our loom. Alright, see this right here? That's our anchor peg. So we're going to make a slip knot. Remember how to do that? Over once, over twice. Like that. It's going to start on the inside of your hand, go towards the outside. Pull over once, pull over twice, and down. It's that simple. I'll show you again. Wrap and wrap. Over once, over twice. There. Now what we're going to do is we're going to attach it to our anchor peg right there. Yep. Just like so. Okay. Now we are going to E-wrap all the way around. Oh, hook's in the way. Duh! Sorry. Okay. So I get this a little more untangled instead of retangled. There. Now you get to look at me. Yay, what a view. Okay, so we're going to E-wrap like that. Oops, nope. Like that. And I'll show you why. We want, see that stitch right here where my finger is? We don't want the cross to go on the indent of that peg. It just makes it messy and I don't like it that way. So, now, the same way all the way around. So you wrap clockwise. Like that. All the way around. We'll do it together. It's just a loom project, so it shouldn't take that long. And do you see why I use the straw? I can actually get in there without killing my fingers. I like my stitches down low, so I automatically push them down. That's just how I roll. And I also do loose tension because I don't like super tight tension. You would think on a loom it would not allow it to be a tight stitch, but it works out really well. I'm surprised with these looms. I'm so used to working with Nifty Knitter and the boy normal looms that you would not expect that these work so well. I am a big fan of lightweight looms. They are winning me over the more and more I use it because I can use regular worsted weight yarn and I don't have to worry about gaping holes in my project. Although I do need an excuse to buy some blanket yarn, which is a project I would like to do because I love that yarn. It's just a little pricey for me, especially being that I spend, you know, $2.88 on this yarn at Walmart. Okay, we're almost done. Then I'm going to show you what we're going to do for the remainder of this project. Alright, so this is not going to be a flat panel, so we're going to continue to go work it. What we're going to do is we're going to half wrap like that. It's a little awkward doing it this way. Excuse the arm. Needed the hook. Alright, so we just half wrap. See what I did that? I half wrap. I didn't wrap it all the way. This is called the knit stitch. And we're going to do that all the way around. The only reason why I do this stitch is because it's neater. And continue to do that all the way around. I call this the cast on row, or round. I do not count this as round 1. Alright, so what I want you to do is pause the video right now and go all the way around and then hit play when you get back to the beginning point, when you get back to this peg. Okay, and we're back. Now what I want you to do is I push all mine down, especially when I E-wrap. So just push all your stitches down. Shouldn't take long. It's gonna be a little tight in the beginning. It's because you just did the U-wrap stitch. It's okay. Once you start doing the purl and the E-knit, it'll be nice and it'll be loose. It'll be easier to work with, trust me. As long as you keep your tension loose. If you have tight tension, then unfortunately it's going to be tight and hard to work with, especially with these looms because they have, see those little divots right there? Your yarn gets stuck, and if you do tight stitches, it's going to get stuck. Whoops, I missed one. It happens from time to time. You'll miss one. Nobody's perfect. Perfection is not an option when you're doing handmade items. That's what makes handmade items even more special, is the imperfections in them. If you wanted perfection, you should have bought something from the store. I personally like the imperfections of handmade over store-bought. That's just me. But I also love my own, you know, created hats. Okay, so we're going to zoom in. Zoom. Hi. Alright, now, after I pull some yarn, we're just going to E-wrap. This is an easy one. Just like we did when we started. See? All the way around. Just like so. Easy peasy. I forgot to put my stitch marker in. Oh well. I won't put it in now because of, well actually I can put it in after I finish this round. I'll put it in. I'll show you how to do that. It's really simple to fix too. And after this round you can also take out your anchor peg. After a couple rows you don't have to keep your anchor yarn in the anchor peg it's kind of redundant and it starts to stretch it. I don't like the way that looks once it's stretched. So now we just E-wrap all the way around. Doodaloo. Get some more yarn if needed. Just like so. There. And what I like to do to make sure my stitches don't go anywhere, is I take this, where are you? There you go. I take the last one I wrapped, and I fold it over. I'm going to take this out now too. Focus for a second. There we go. Just take this out. Comes out nice and easy. Pull your, and what I like to do is just grab it and get it out of my way. Alright, so now, all you have to do for this one, up and over, all the way around. Oh, that string is just the anchor string, so it's no big deal. Just up and over, all the way around. Alright, hit pause right now. And when you get back, when you're all done, up and over, see my stitches are still a little tight because of the U-wrap. Before you pause. The E-wrap is considered our first row, so tap that. Okay, now pause. Okay, and we're back. So first, I wanted to show you how to take off, how to put a stitch marker back on when you forgot to put it on before you E-wrap. So you just lift the stitch, hold it. See how I'm still holding it on my hook? Drop that stitch marker right in there. Actually, not that one. I didn't want to do it on that one. I don't like that big. That's not why I'm doing it. I want it on the first one, not the last one. So we're going to put it on this one, because this is the first peg. You're probably wondering how I could tell the difference, right? Well, I know. My last peg had the yarn. Alright, so we're just going to scoot it down just a tad bit, because now I'm going to teach you the purl stitch. It's really simple. Yeah, don't go all the way down, because if you do, it just becomes a hassle. See, almost done. And see how it's a little more free moving now, which is what we want. A little more free moving. Okay, so to do the purl stitch, you're going to bring your yarn to the front, like so. Then you're going to go from top to bottom, underneath, pull up the working yarn like so, make a loop, take the old stitch off, put the new one on, don't get stuck on the anchor peg, and pull tight. But not too tight, because if you pull too tight, then your tension's going to be horribly tight. You're not going to be able to move your stitches. Show you again. Top to bottom, bring up a loop with the working yarn. Sometimes it gets snagged, so what I do is I just take my hook out once it's in and fix it. You'll see where you get a little fray pieces. Off with the old stitch, on with the new. Pull. Show you 3 more times. Top to bottom, bring up the working yarn, off, and on with the new. Again, top to bottom. Up, see what I mean about snags? It happens. Bring up the new yarn. Not like that. Bring up the, I can't see because it's not like right under my nose. Because if it was, you'd see my head. Sorry, the computer decided to shut off. Yeah, it stinks when you're still recording, it shuts off. I gotta fix that. There, and I'll show you one last time. And then I want you to go around the whole thing and do it by yourself. Like so. There. We'll do one more. Okay. Up and over, and down. Whoops, Make sure you get it on the peg. And one more that you can actually see. Under, from top to bottom. Don't snag. Grab it, scoop it up, pull up, off with the old, on with the new. Don't get snagged. There. That is how you do the purl stitch. I want you to do that all the way around to your last stitch. And don't forget, we're on row numero 2. Okay, so we're on round number 2. Going on to round number 3. Let me give you a tip. All your odd rows, 1 through 5, 7, and 9, are going to be e-knit. All your even are going to be purl. That is why I only want you to go up to row number 20. Okay, with doing this pattern. So next would be round 3 would be e-knit. Round 4 would be purl. Remember? Just go around. Yeah, go around and around for e-knit. Just like so. Okay? And then I'm going to show you the next step. I'm not going to make the whole hat because I've already made one. I will show you it in a second to get a little more specific after I wrap this row. So, okay, we're going to pretend that I did all the way, I knit and purl all the way to, oops, need more yarn, all the way to row 20. Just finished row 20. We're going to end, that's going to be a purl row because it's an even number. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Whoops. Wrap. Thank you. So now we're on row, we'll say we're on row 21, which, here, that'll be nice. Ding, 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 ding. 21, there we go. We are on to the body of the hat. After I wrap this, I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, remember, before you let go, always bring up that stitch so you don't have to chase it. Okay, let me show you. We're working from the bottom up, okay? So this was the E-wrap. Now we're doing the this is the 20 rounds of it's actually called garter stitch. It's not called knit and purl stitch. It's called garter. This is what you come up with. Now, the one I'm going to show you next, which is just E-wrap. This is the easy part of the blanket. It goes, of the blanket. Yeah, did you know you wear blankets on your head now? Of the hat. This is the easiest part. It goes very quickly once you have to actually keep track. And, something I forgot we need. Hopefully I have one in here. Yes. A tape measure. They help. Okay. Because you want it to be, well, mine's kind of bunched up, but I measure from when it was stretched out on the loom. I got to about 8.5, 9 inches. Now this covers my head just fine, but I have a small head. Come to find out, didn't know till I bought a riding helmet. I have a small head. So I go between 8.5 and 9.5 inches, depending on the person I'm making it for. If I know they have a larger head, then I go closer to 9, 9.5. If it's my head, I stay as close to 8 as possible because any longer, I look like a 5-year-old in a hat. Okay, so to get this stitch right here, the E-knit stitch, which looks very pretty on this hat, all you do is you wrap. And you start from the beginning. That helps. Just like anything else. Whoops. Don't lose your stitches. Okay. Luckily, these ear-wraps are easy to put back on. Sometimes, since I do use a straw to keep my tension not so tight, my stitches will fall off. Just want to be mindful of if you lose your stitch. Just put it back on. It's not the end of the world. And being that you did an anchor, you shouldn't lose all your stitches. It has happened to me where I lost one here and I had to rewrap it. But don't worry, it's not the end of the world. It's okay. All you have to do is just rewrap. See? I am losing my stitches all over the place this morning. And another thing I found, hold it. Once you get it over, hold it down. Show you again. Up, hold it down. Once you pick it up far enough, it shouldn't get caught. I drag, so it gets caught every once in a while. Okay? So, we're just going to do this till we hit about 8 to 9 inches, depending on the size of the head you're making. If you're making this for a child, I would go 8 max. Okay? So, pause the video here, and you do not need to use the stitch counter anymore. It's not really necessary because you do it by measuring. It's easier to measure than remembering to hit the thing. That's my biggest downfall with stitch counters. I always forget to turn them, click them, smack them, always. Which is why I go by inches and never my count anymore. So, pause the video right here. When you get to between 8 and 9 inches, 9.5 for a really large head, come back and then I'll show you how to bind off, which is actually really easy. Okay, and we're back. So I pushed him about halfway down, 3/4 of the way down. I E-wrapped. Now we're going to pretend that it is looking like this through the loom. And it is 8 inches, between 8 and 9.5 inches long. Okay? So, we are going to take a chunk of yarn, grab your scissors, snip, snip, take your straw off, find your darning needle that you lost in the desk, thread it, okay, so to do this, what we're going to do is we're going to start on the first one and go. Sometimes it gets stuck, so what I do is I'm somewhat ambidextrous, so I can do both. Hold and in. Because this one is blunt, very blunt, it's not sharp at all, and I can't get it in these finer pegs. Just like that, and pull. But don't get your anchor yarn. So, pull up. You want to come from the bottom to the top. Like so. All the way around. I'll show you a couple more times, and then I'll have you pause it, and I'll show you what to do after you get everything off. Lift up, all the way through. Just like so. Take the stitch marker off so it doesn't get stuck in your work. So, again, top, bottom to top. Okay, we're going to try a different needle because this one's driving me bonkers. Okay, let's see. Do I have any sharp ones? Well, that has no tip. We'll try this one. There. See how this one works. Much better. There. Now I can show you without fumbling. In the dip, under, and through. Pull off and pull. Do it again. In a dip. Pull up and through. Pull it off. There you go. Now this is just a simple bind off for a hat. There's going to be a little bit of bump on the top. This is not a complicated one. I wanted to start off easy. I didn't want to start off difficult. In another hat tutorial, I will show you also show a different way to bind off where it's not so bumpy and a little more flat. Okay, so do this all the way around. Pause this right about now. Come back when you get all the stitches off. Okay, and we're back. So I got the last stitch being pulled. Alright, so see how it's pulling? You're just going to hold it. Yours will be longer so it won't twist. Mine's twisting because it's like 3 rows. So just pull. What I do is I literally just hold it and pull. Like that. And then excuse the whining husky. Just pull tight. You find the middle, which I'll show you in the hat. See right here? Where is it? There we go. See that? Right here is where I tied the knot. What I do is I squeeze and then I shove it in to the underside. So you don't want to see your knot. And I loop it through. I'll show you the stitches. I only go through like the layers on the inside, not the outside, so you don't see it. Like so. And then like so. I just go through a couple times and then I make my knot. And then your hat is complete. And you get a hat that looks like this. There. You just made your first loom hat. And you just made my first design that I actually did a tutorial for. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you on the next tutorial for the scarf to match this hat. Have a good day, and God bless.